Hello, friends, and welcome to IHKC Live. As per the always, you see me bopping here as Cynthia's doing the countdown music. You can't see her just yet. You will a little bit later, but she was also bopping. So just know that we are ready for a bopping 45 minutes here. IHKC Live, for those of you who don't know, that is our live stream. We're going to have a special guest with us today. We like to talk about topics that impact women plus leaders, help them activate their leadership journeys. And we have a fabulous guest that we will be meeting a little bit later. But first things first, just a little bit about Innovate Her KC. We are a leadership community for women and gender minorities across the Kansas City metro area. We currently have about 7,500 members. Actually, we are almost at 7,600. We took a nice little jump up there, Cynthia. Aren't you excited? She's like, yeah. I am also excited, but we offer our members professional development opportunities, social connection events, championship, mentorship, research, storytelling, all kinds of fun things. And we do it all with a lens on low barrier to entry and inclusion, so we can democratize access to opportunity for women plus leaders. We're very proud to do the work that we do. And now we're going to go ahead and kick off IHKC Live, where we talk about pressing issues of the day. Cynthia Fales, would you join us for just a moment, my friend?
Hey.
Hello, friend.
How are you?
How are you? It always makes me so happy when you start dancing with me. When the countdown starts happening, and there's this kicky little music, and we're just like, yeah.
I can't help it.
You are the Joy Sherpa, and I feel like not only are we twinsies today, which makes me extraordinarily happy, but you exude that joy, so let's dance about it.
Hey.
So let's go ahead. I'm going to talk a little bit about our guest today. We have with us today Tracey Hawkins. Tracey is known as the Safety Lady, and she is an award-winning national speaker. Just got back from Billings, actually, for an engagement. We've talked at events multiple times about the fact that we really need to bring this conversation to the IHKC audience. Just remember, folks, we are going to have Q&A, and Cynthia will flash your lovely questions and comments and thoughts across the screen periodically, so don't forget. But let's go ahead and bring up Tracey, and let's talk some quirky questions, Cynthia. How do you feel about that?
I'm ready. Tracey, how are you?
I'm scared. I'm scared. Otherwise, I'm okay. The quirky questions is what's got me. So let's see what you have.
I mean, you've got this. You got like I said in prep. There are no wrong answers. This is just a fun, silly conversation. Like, this is going to be great.
Yes. Yes. Let's start with an easy one. I feel like I just jinxed this when I called it easy.
I know it's going to end up being something like as a hot dog, a sandwich. And I'm going to be like, get out of here.
No. Let's see if it's easy. How about that? Okay.
Right.
If you got to choose your name, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Okay, so my name, I have a twin sister, right? And my mom is a twin. So my mom let her twin sister name my sister and I. And when it came to, I'm Tracey and she's Stacy. When it came to our middle names, they picked a name out of a medicine book for my middle name. So that would probably be the one I would want to change. I like cute, fun, like girl, boy names like I kind of have now. Why do I like the name Alexis? I've never thought this question before, but for some reason I like the name Alexis.
I like Alexis. I mean, you're a very Tracey name, but I like Alexis for you.
I like Lexi. I like Lexi.
I could be Lexi. I could be Alex or Alexis. So I don't know where that came from, but that's my answer.
Super versatile.
There's a lot of flexibility in there. When I was in high school, I went through a period of time where people called me Lee, and like to this day, people that I went to high school with, like they still call me that, and I'm like, huh? And it's because Lauren, there is no real good diminutive for Lauren. Like there's Lo and sometimes people do call me Lo or Lolo. But Ren is the dude from Footloose, can't do that. So there's just not really a great nickname. So I don't know. I've always liked my name. Well, no, that's not even true. There was a period of time where I didn't, but for the most part, I like my name and I've kind of accepted it. But I always really liked the name Isabella. I don't know why. I just always thought it was really pretty. It had a nice cadence. Um, yeah. So I think
I
that
like
that's,
it.
I don't even know if like that fits or anything. I just like it.
But
Like,
listen
see
to
that.
this.
you like
Listen to
your name?
this, Lauren.
Yeah.
My mom's twin sister, the one who named me, she was a nurse. She's the one who found my name in a medical book. Her name is Lola, and we called her Lolo. And here you are, Lolo. So my mom is Ola, my aunt is Lolo, or Aunt Lolo. How funny
That
is
makes
that?
me really
I love
happy.
it.
There's a connectivity there. See, Tracey,
It
this
is.
is why you and I are friends. Cynthia, you have the unique experience of you actually go by a little bit of a nom de plume. And so you
I
have
do.
had the opportunity to pick your name, but would you have
Yes.
chosen something else if you weren't trying to market books?
I don't know. I've never thought about the question until asking it of you all.
Wait. Is this a
It's not
situation
like
where you're
it's
dishing it
not
out
like
but
I
you can't take
study.
it?
No, it's not like I study these questions ahead of time and I'm ready with my answer. I'm just ready to ask the question and see where the conversation goes.
So is your name not Cynthia? I don't understand.
It is Cynthia, but my pen name is CL Fails.
Got it.
But it's literally just first initial, middle initial, last name. So it wasn't very creative.
I mean, I'm not saying you like reaching deep into the creativity bag.
I know.
I'm just, you got to pick it.
Yeah, maybe I should think about that. The next novel that's coming out is kind of steamy, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I should change my pen name or not. Maybe I should think of that.
Ooh, I'm trying to think of like sexy names, and I'm like CL Salvatore, but that kind of like I don't know. I'm gonna think on that like
I'll
way
think
too
on that.
hard.
Okay,
All right.
ready for the second question?
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was good.
Okay. If you had a pet parrot, what would you teach it to say?
Wait, on purpose or by accident?
On purpose. I know what yours would say on accident. though.
I have a parrot who's dropping F-bombs.
Uh-huh. That's going
It's a
down.
very versatile word. I use it in many situations. Tracey, do you have like a phrase that you really like or that you'd want to teach your parrot?
Well, and you when you ask a question of a professional speaker, just hold on tight. So here's mine. And my mom is a veteran and a former teacher. And when my sister Stacy and I are talking to her, she's always saying, slow down or stop talking or something along those lines. So I would probably teach my parrot to say something like, speak less and speak slowly. And then that would constantly remind me, slow it down.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So it would be like your speaking guide parrot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Something like that, because I talk all the time. So I need that reminder. So
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, Cynthia, do you have an answer? I'm just going to keep turning it around on you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll answer, but Lauren, the ball is in your court.
Okay. Well, I mean, definitely, yeah, I would have a salty little parrot for sure. Just right there on my shoulder, cussing a lot. I don't know. I think I would want to keep it Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to take it to a page from Tracey, and I'm going to say, I feel like I could put the parrot to work, like the little freeloader. I feed it and I take care of it and I get its wings clipped or whatever you need to do for parrot care. But I'll take very good care of my parrot. And so periodically, I'm going to want the parrot to say calm to me. And that's because so I'm doing this EMBA program and I get stressed. And there's this woman on my team, her name is Andrea. And every once in a while, she'll just notice that I'm getting a little agitated about something. And she'll just put her hand on my shoulder and she'll be like, calm. And it helps. I'm just remember, take a breath, take a pause. And I feel like that could be very useful for me. And that's how we get the value out of the little parrot ingrate.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, one of the things that I've been just repeating to myself over and over again over the last, since COVID. So the last 4 years is trust yourself. So I think having a parrot that repeats that would help not only me, but anybody who's in the vicinity of the parrot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, see, it is interesting because like I view you as I told you this the other day, but like I view you as a little bit of a respite. Like you have a
Yeah.
very calming energy to me. And I like when I'm particularly when I'm up here, I love just being by you because I'm like, she's just you let off waves. And so
I
it would
let
be
it out.
nice to see a creature pour into you as much as you pour into others. Because I'm sure that you are surrounded by energy vampires. And yeah, maybe it's time for a
I
little
don't know.
feathered friend to turn it around on you.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. I'll buy
Okay.
that.
One more question. It's not too quirky.
Okay.
What item do you hope will be obsolete in 20 years?
Cars.
These facial expressions right now.
I can't hide it.
I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to go a long way around. I'm going to say jails, prisons. I want those to be obsolete because I want people to learn to listen to me, to learn how to prevent crime. So therefore we can't be victims, and therefore there will be no perpetrators, and we don't need jails to put them in because we've outsmarted them. Boom.
And quirky questions are done just like that.
I mean, like seriously, that's a mic drop right there.
It really is.
Well,
Yeah.
any other answer we say is just going to sound terrible because I mean,
Yeah.
I think we all want jails to go. So, ta-da!
The end. The end.
Yeah.
That's wow. I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay. Yep.
Lauren, you said cars.
I did because well, first of all, I really like public transportation. I am concerned about our fossil fuel usage, and I know that we're moving to electric potentially, but like, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. But mostly I want to have a mode of conveyance where I can work and do it at the same time. Like I waste so much time driving around and trying to find parking, and it's one of the greatest frustrations of my life. So I want to have some kind of mode of transportation that allows me to lift right out.
Ooh, I like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm really crossing my fingers for autonomous vehicles, but I've seen some
Yeah.
concerning things thus far. So
I mean, we're still in the
but
learning
like 10
phase.
years sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, in the next 20 years, I hope cell phones are obsolete. And here's why.
Okay.
I know they're lifelines, right?
Mhm.
But we miss so much of the world because we're
Yeah.
looking down.
Yeah.
If there's a way to get access to the same type of technology and have it in a way where it's in front of us so that we don't have to look down at our phones and we can interact with each other as we're still interacting with the same type of technology that's on our phones, that's what I would love to see in 20 years.
That's brilliant because think about it. And I had to stop when I'm at Mount Rushmore, I'm looking at this and I'm so busy trying to capture it on my phone. And it's like, I had to remind myself, put your phone away and just look at it, enjoy it, look around and stop trying to capture the moment. So I agree with you 100%.
Be in the moment rather than capture the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. A world without cell phones. I'm very codependent. I'm in a codependent relationship with my cell phone. So like you say that out loud and I'm like, whoa, that's scary.
Me too.
But
Me too.
I see the benefit of your words and I see the wisdom behind them. So I don't know if
I'm
I
just
buy
saying,
it, but I understand it.
same tech, like we still have access to the tech and
Okay.
everything that simplifies
Well,
our
like
life.
the first thing that pops into my head is like Google Glass, and I'm like, that is literally something obstructing your eyes. Stop it.
Right.
That's not a solution.
We've got
I
20
agree.
years to figure it out. We've got 20
Okay.
years.
All right. Okay. All right. I love how we all swung for, well, you two in particular, you swung for the fences, my friends. Well done. Excellent work. That's the innovation mindset right there. That's what we're all
There
about.
you go.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
friends, Quirky Questions has come to an end. We're going to say goodbye to the fabulous Cynthia Fales. We will bring her back. But Tracey, how are you today, friend?
I am tired. I am busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm happy.
That's, yeah, people always ask me that, and I'm just like busy but fulfilled. Like it's, you know, This is not a
Exactly.
mutually exclusive relationship here. Well,
Agreed.
so let's go ahead and hop into it. And I just wanna let's start with kind of the baseline. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'd love to hear kind of your history, what you do, how you came to where you be. And I know that that's like 20 different questions all wrapped within one, but give us just a little elevator pitch about Tracey, the Safety Lady Hawkins.
I again, I mentioned I have a twin sister. So when we were youngsters, we both got our real estate licenses, and then so I decided I didn't really want to be a real estate salesperson. So I'm the reader of all things entrepreneur, all kinds of small business magazines, and it's like, what can I do? What kind of business can I start? And then I kept seeing a theme about safety businesses. So I was working, and then I started selling like pepper spray and alarms part time to like local stores, high B's. I don't know if you guys remember Bruce Smith drugstores, bookstores, college bookstores. So I did that. And then it's like, I want more. So then I opened a store in the mall, in Mission Center Mall. I had a safety store. It was called Security Source. So I had all things safety and security, child safety, auto security, home safety. I had the personal safety. So you can walk into my little 400 or so foot store and you can buy all kinds of safety stuff. And I was an expert, so I could explain it. Then, Lauren, I got restless. It's like, I want out of here.
You're a true entrepreneur at heart. Like, I already knew that, but I can see you getting restless for sure.
Yeah, because I was in the mall, and if your employees don't show up, your store still had to be open. So
Right.
How many days was I there from 10 to 9? And then Stacy said, hey, no one's talking to real estate agents about safety. Come on. So I started speaking all over the Kansas City area. And then the next thing I knew, I was doing it across the country. I'm losing my voice here. I talked for 8 hours one day. Anyway, so I started doing it across the country. And then now I am a national speaker. A couple of years ago, the Canadian Real Estate Association said, hey, create some content for us. So I did it. Last July, the National Association of Realtors, which happens to be the country's largest trade organization with 1.5 million members, asked us to audition.
That's so many members.
It's amazing. Asked us to audition, and I was selected to host the country's only real estate safety podcast. We've won an award. We're constantly in the top 5%. So I appreciate the work that you and Cynthia do in putting together a podcast. It's amazing. And then here I am. I am speaking. I write for national publications, and I get to share my knowledge and help reduce crime.
Yeah. Well, and so I want to back us up just a little bit when we're going to take the 10,000 foot view. So when we talk about safety for real estate agents, like I want the audience to really think about that. The fact of the matter is, like, anytime a real estate agent, in particular, I would imagine female real estate agents, go to show a house, like you're in a house with someone who has not really been vetted. You're in a private space, possibly with outside of screaming distance, and you're with someone that you don't know, and you have to do that a lot, right? And so I think I watch true crime, like it's how I decompress. But like there, I remember watching a story about a real estate agent who was murdered as she was showing a house, and it's like these things, might not happen all the time, but they certainly happen. And so equipping these real estate agents with the knowledge that they need to keep themselves safe, like that's so key. Can you talk a little bit about your reason for wanting to explore that as much as you have? I mean, I think it's important work, but what's your why?
The U.S. Department of Labor considers real estate sales and leasing a high-risk hazardous occupation for the reason you just said. Their job description, and this includes my sister now, I need my sister to be okay. Their job description reads that you make a living meeting complete strangers in empty houses. You make a living sitting in empty houses waiting for strangers to show up. We call those open houses. And then you make a living going to a stranger's house, knocking on the door, going inside and locking the door behind you. And those are listing appointments. So the dangers of the job speak to why someone has to do it. And it's an expertise of mine. And then someone said, hey, home health workers do the same thing. So, Lauren, I had to develop programming, and I had an opportunity to speak to a lot of home health agencies about that home health worker who's going in to take care of loved ones or, people in need inside of their homes. They don't know them either. So it's bigger than just real estate safety.
Yeah.
Field workers, I have sold pepper spray to meter readers for the city of Kansas City's water department. So a lot of people need safety, and there's not typically one place you can go to get it. And I always say non-OSHA safety. Everyone's familiar with OSHA safety policies and rules,
Yeah.
but I'm
And
the
that's more
non-OSHA.
like workplace safety from the perspective of like, this is what you do when there's a spill. This is what you do when you interact with a chemical. This is like where
Right.
you put signage out and right?
Yes, and
Okay.
that's why I always have to specify I'm non-OSHA. One thing that I do is I talk to business owners. If you have a business, let's talk about keeping your business safe. What about your equipment? Have you inventoried it? If there's a natural disaster or even a burglary, you have to prove to the insurance company that what you had. So I'm saying, let's be proactive. Let's get that in place. What about the person at the front desk? Do they know how to de-escalate if someone comes in and they're angry? And that's where the workplace violence comes in. And I attended a presentation by the Kansas City Police Department about workplace violence. And they talked about fleeing, fortifying, different things that you need to do if workplace violence visits your doorstep. What I have found is that most businesses are not even thinking about it until there is a news story and then everyone scrambles around.
Right.
I'm saying, let's prevent it up front.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love proactivity rather than reactivity. So you said several very interesting things in there, but one of the things that I want to drill down on, so we were just talking about physical safety, and you're talking about like personal alarms, home security, business security, things like that. But you're also a cybersecurity expert, right? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Now, that lights me up. Everybody, and I've been talking about cybersecurity when I'm talking to businesses, even when I'm talking to senior citizens. I did a program for the Shepherd Center, and they made it a 2-part program. They say you have to come back. And I was talking about AI cybersecurity. And we were at a Week Code KC event. I did a program for the young people, 7 to 17-year-olds, talking about AI cybersecurity. Was it November of 2022 when ChatGPT came onto the scene?
Yeah.
Everyone lost their minds. It's like, here's generative AI. Oh my gosh, either people were petrified, didn't know about AI, didn't know what it would do. It was going to take over the world, kill us all, et cetera, et cetera. And then there are those who say, we'll try anything. And so what I had to do is I had to say, time out. Slow down a little bit. Let's talk about how to use the tools in a safe manner. So people were typing in financial information, business information, getting these great reports. And I had to remind them that information is public. So no personal, no financial, no proprietary information. So slow down and use it in a safe manner. But the part that really surprises people are the way cyber criminals are using the tools. We keep hearing the term deep fakes, and most people don't truly understand, but it's something that you can use a tool, Midjourney, Canva, ChatGPT, Google Gemini. You can use these tools and make images of people that don't exist, of places that don't exist. And a cyber criminal is saying, oh, I can even duplicate someone's voice, make phone calls, and make it say things they never said. So I had to say, here's how cyber criminals are using them. We've been used to getting those horribly written emails, make a payment, or we've got your payment, and we can look at them and we say, we're not silly. That is so horribly written. It's not professional. Now, cyber criminals are using these tools to write grammatically correct phishing emails. So they look professional, and people are clicking on them because they don't question them. I am saying you can't believe what you see, what you hear, or what you read. So, that's what's taking me across the country these days is telling people, use the tools. I use them every day. I cannot imagine life without them, but use them in a safe way. And then also know how cyber criminals are using them to scam and defraud us.
So have an awareness of how you are using the tools, but also be aware of how others are using the tools.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's extraordinarily vital work. And I'm not gonna name names or anything, but actually literally this morning, we actually had a spam fraud ticket seller come into the IHKC group. And of course, as soon as I saw it, I immediately tried to pop it out. But we actually had a member who engaged and ended up having to contact PayPal and lock it down. And she reached out to me, and I told her, I was like, don't engage with this individual. Like, this is spam. Wow. It's a scam. And we got rid of it. Don't engage. And she was like, thank God I had reached out to you, because I just would have been taken for this money. And so, I mean, what you're doing is crucially important. And I'm so glad that there's a market for, I mean, I guess I would rather there not be a market for it, but if there has to be one, I'm glad that you are doing the work to educate people and help them stay safe and get that peace of mind that comes with, that comes with safety. So let's talk about your speaking career. You have spent a career gathering knowledge and becoming an expert in these very, very important subject matter areas. So talk to us a little bit about how you became a speaker. What did that process look like for you? Was it something that happened organically? Was it a decision that you made?
Before I forget, let me back up a little bit. You said you're glad that there's a market for it. The market's not big enough. And just to say that I am talking to startups and small businesses as well as large businesses saying, all it takes is one click. The story you just told is a perfect example. One click and it will unleash all kinds of nightmares.
Right.
Think about Jackson County courthouse. One employee clicked the link and then we couldn't access court services or county services. So that's the number one thing when training is one click. Think before you click. And then also, just before I talk about the speaking, something that's been kind of bothering me is that there is an organization, not naming names, and I said, hey, let's talk about, startups and small businesses getting this training. And the person said, we don't need that kind. That's not important, to startups and small businesses. We're talking about marketing and budgets. And I'm thinking, you need to hear this because startups and small businesses are the target of these cyber criminals, and they're the ones who have their heads in the sand. Whereas big companies, you see the news stories, they're targets too. So everyone needs my message.
Because really good scammers, they're going to know to target vulnerable organizations that aren't well resourced and don't have strong IT security departments or people who are. So yeah, I would say. There's a saying out there: the first check you write is for the mortgage, but the second check you write is for the insurance. Because protecting your people and your stuff and your business, like that's got to be priority. I mean, I know startup founders and entrepreneurs, y'all want to make some money, but protecting your assets and protecting that money is really important as well.
You're going to pay one way or the other. You're going to pay to get back on track, and the estimated cost to get back into business, whether it's ransomware or a hack, is astronomical, more than you would pay for someone like me to come in. But even more important, the reputational damage. Who wants to do business with a company that has been hacked and your information is out there? So I'm taking it from that approach. Let's be proactive about it. I should be busier than I am. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. That every day on my calendar should be filled. So now let's talk about speaking, how I got to be here.
I'm curious to hear how you became a speaker, because I mean, I see you all over the place all the time. But I'd be interested to hear how the journey started.
Okay, first when my sister Stacy said, no one's talking to us. And then it's like, I like to talk, ask my mom. I talk a lot. I like to talk. So then I work with the Overland Park Police Department. I work with MOXA, our local rape crisis center, and I put together a program. So I let the police do their part, the crime prevention part. MOXA talked about how to prevent sexual assault and how to be a resource. And then I talked about real estate safety from my expertise. I've been an agent. I've walked in your shoes. So then I put that program together. And then eventually I got to the point where I could do it on my own. And then one thing that I do, and people always want to get paid. They want to be a speaker because the money is good. Okay. But you're going to have to speak for free. I can't tell you how many service organizations I've spoken for, how many organizations, even businesses, even nonprofits that said, we can't really afford a speaker, but can you do it anyway? And I said, yes. So I didn't have my nose in the air. It's like, I'm not going to do it. I said yes. And even to this day, I will say yes. So getting the experience is important. What I will tell people now who are trying to get into the speaking business is tape everything. And my sister is getting more into the national speaking business, and she is here now, and I'm coaching her. And I have another friend who I've done that for, and I'm telling them, I'm a broken record, a couple of friends. I'm saying, tape yourself, get a microphone, and you can use your phone. You don't need a fancy camera, and get a tripod. Every time you're speaking, that camera needs to be rolling. I can't tell you how many times I've run out of space on my phone, and I have like 512, gigabytes or whatever it is. I have the most. I run out. So look at yourself, when you're speaking, go back and look and see what you did right, what you did wrong. That's where you're going to hear the ums and the so's, all that. Okay, but
well,
then use
so
that.
not only that, let me just pop in here really quick. So I think it's really vitally important for a speaker to capture their performance. It's how you get better, but it's also a really, really good marketing tool. Like as you're gathering the content, I've got a greatest hits, I've got a sizzle reel, and so one of the things that I've learned, and I'd love to hear how you've done this in your career, you have to make it as easy as possible for people to hire you. Right. So like somebody reaches out and asks me about my rates and availability. I have a package that I can send them, and it's got my sizzle reel. It's got my one sheet. It's got, all of the things that they're going to need in order to make an educated, informed decision. And so yeah, like capturing that content, it's hugely important.
I know I'm a broken record. My sister she kind of rolls her eyes, but it's like, that's what you have to do. And people hear sizzle reel, they hear the one sheeter, and they're thinking, oh my God, I don't have that kind of money. Your phone will capture your sizzle reel. iPhone, I have a Samsung Galaxy. The cameras on phones nowadays are amazing. There are professional settings on it. But one thing, Lauren, I have to stress is you must have a microphone. Don't set a camera in a room and you're on the stage and it's echoey. Invest in a microphone. You can get one for about $100 on Amazon, or even
this
less.
Is actually a Yeti, and it cost, I think when I got it, I mean, it's a little old now, it's a little outdated, but I think it was like $30 or something like that when I got this. And I got this for Startup Hustle, but yeah, I cannot express to you how different the audio quality is. And that's what really you're looking for here, because you want to look polished to potential employers and potential audiences. And so making sure that like you have good lighting. I've got a ring light on right now, making sure that you have good audio. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to spend thousands on any of this, but you definitely want to invest a little bit of time in making sure that as you're going to be pumping out content, it's got to be good. Right.
Right. And people will watch a bad video if the picture's not right, but they will not listen to a video if the sound is not good.
Yeah.
I will turn away if I'm struggling to listen and it's far away and echoey, something like this, just a simple microphone. I got it off Amazon. There's a receiver you attach to your camera, the little clip-on microphones. I'm telling you, I spent about $100 for this. You must have good sound. And what I do, if you look at my social media pages, just today, I spoke in Billings and I recorded myself. I did some vertical and I did some horizontal videos. So reels are where it's at, whether it's Instagram reels or Facebook or YouTube shorts. Reels under 60 seconds is where it's at. So I broke my video down into a 60-second reel and a Facebook short. And then I'm going to do more as we get closer to Real Estate Safety Month of September. I will drip out me speaking and teaching in real life. People who are going to hire you need to see you actually talking. So that's perfect. I have audience interaction. And one thing that I always say is make sure you ask a question to engage the audience. So then that shows up on the reel. And then people know we're not just going to have someone standing in front of the room just talking and boring everyone. I want you to know that I'm going to be talking to your people and it will be interactive. So always make sure that the picture's good. If you're in a room or space, one of these kind of microphones is good to have on your camera. And it's wireless. Make sure the sound is good and show yourself being interactive. Capture that. And then that will go on your reel. And your reel is just as simple as taking the video footage of you. And how long is yours, Lauren? Because usually anywhere from 3 minutes or so is the top. Anything longer than that, people will tune out. They won't do it. How long is your reel?
So last time I clocked it, it was 2:49, which I'm fine with.
Exactly. And
I think I read that stat somewhere and I was like, yeah, that sounds good, I guess.
And it's great. So I have a couple that are 3 minutes, but then I had one when I did the AI, my cybersecurity AI, where I got to travel last year from DC to California to points all over Vegas and everywhere. And it's like, I want all of this on the reel. So I have one that's like 8 minutes. But what I did is I chopped up a lot of me on different stages. So people see me on stages. That helps my credibility. They think, oh, well, someone else has hired her. And every one of those pieces has me either saying something either funny, something impactful, and engaging with the audience. So someone can look at that. And like you said, it makes it easy for someone to hire you because they don't have to cross their fingers and hope that you're okay and that they don't get
Right.
embarrassed or they don't lose their job. So you've got to take the time and record yourself. That's first and foremost. You've got
Yeah.
to.
Well, so real quick, I do want to bust in here, and I just want to say, so I've seen some comments come across. Just a reminder, folks, if you have questions, and I would encourage you to have questions because you have an expert right here ready to answer them. How often do you have a captive audience like that? Ask them in the comments. Make sure if you've got questions or thoughts that you want to share. Really excited to see that we have at least a couple out there who are interested in leveling up their speaking game, which is exactly why we decided to do this. So I want to talk to you, so one of the things that I have learned, and I'm going to give a little piece of advice to the audience out there. Figure out what you're really, really good at. Know what that is and don't compromise on that. So whenever I have someone engage, we'll usually hop on a Zoom and they'll be like, hey, we're interested in hiring you for this event. I am very, very clear about who I am. I am not an academic interviewer. I am not the highly technical person that's gonna, that's not what I do. What I'm really good at is assessing and then bringing up the energy in a room. That's what I can do. And so I tend to do very well as an MC. I am good at gauging the temperature of rooms and figuring out what's needed to amp them up. And so I'm very clear up front. I'm like, look, if you're looking for something more academic, I'm not your girl. That's not me. But if you're looking for something that's really, really engaging and interactive, I'm going to do a good job for you. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that, Tracey. How did you decide who you are as a speaker? And then how do you get that message out there? Share your uniqueness with the world.
You said something so brilliant, and I want everyone to hear what you said. You said to speak to something that really is important to you. Every single one of my classes are about safety or security. Yeah. That's what I know. That's what I'm good at. If someone says, Tracey, will you come in and talk to us about creating a great social media plan? I'm going to say no. I am on social media. I post on it, but that's not my passion. That's not my expertise. And that will quickly become obvious if I get in front of people who are looking for value. Everyone wants to say yes when someone says, will you speak on a topic? And it's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll figure it out later. No. It has to be something that you are authentically interested in. For me, I never stop reading safety, security, cybersecurity articles. I am doing that constantly. And we talk about the devices, getting rid of them. That's why I can't get rid of my phone, because I'm reading news stories constantly. So when I'm in front of a room or space, if someone asks me a question about my topic, I can almost guarantee you that I can answer it. And if my PowerPoint breaks down, I can almost guarantee you that I can do my program without the PowerPoint. I don't need it as a crutch, because this is what I know. So please don't say yes to everything. And then you also mentioned having a one-sheeter, Canva. If you have Canva, and most people, you can get a free Canva account and create your own one-sheeter. And so a one-sheeter is basically, and it's one piece of paper that will tell someone who is interested in hiring you who you are, the topics that you talk about, your bio, why you're qualified to speak about it, and why they should hire you. You can add in some of those testimonials, but everything that we're talking about today, anybody can do, and you can do it for pretty much next to nothing.
You have to be willing to invest the time, and your time absolutely has value, friends, but you're going to see some pretty great returns. This is very low risk, high reward kind of situation. So Tracey, we've got some questions coming in, and I want to make sure that we get to those because we've got some folks watching out in the audience. So Max, hey Max, wants to know, how did you choose your topics and titles for your keynote talks? And then we'll move on to Leilani.
Right. Topics, anything and everything safety, because that's my area of expertise. That's my area of interest. So whenever a news story pops up about anything relating to scams, frauds, crimes, then I'm going to look at it and say, can I add that to my existing topic, or is this a whole new class? For example, scams and frauds, a big deal. I wrote an article about it, and it's like, this is a whole class. And before I forget, writing. If you are able to write, then writing an article, I wrote for free for so many publications. I'm not paid, but I wrote for free. So my name is out there. If you Google real estate safety or Tracey the Safety Lady, you're going to get a list of articles that I've written. Speaking of writing, to answer the second part of your question, AI. AI is a
I
great,
do
great tool
absolutely use Chat GPT for titles,
for
and I'm
brainstorming.
really
Yes,
Cynthia is like making a little like dancing
yes.
move in the background, and I know that I just committed treason to some of the folks watching
No,
probably,
no,
but the fact
no,
like
no. No, no, let me tell you why you
AI
didn't. No,
make my
no,
life
let me
just a
tell you
little bit
why.
easier, and I am terrible
No,
at naming things.
no, that's my downfall too, is titles for articles and titles for my programs. But
Yeah,
when people kind of think, oh, you cheated, you used it, it's like, no, 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 it's all in how you use the tool. So you can
yeah.
even use the tool to help you write. I've co-authored a book with ChatGPT, and again, if you are a speaker, if you have a book to your name, that opens doors too. What you need to make sure you're doing or you're not doing is you're not copying and pasting, because
Right.
that's plagiarism. And then these tools
You can
lie, they
always
hallucinate.
tweak, like they'll just give me
You must,
suggestions for like words to use that
you
have the right
must.
vibe. Really, so Tracey, I do want to interject here because we have one really important question, and I want to make
Okay.
sure that we get to it. And it's from Leilani. How do you get your speaking engagements?
People sometimes find me, but one thing that really launched me on a national level was a speaker showcase event. So I had
Okay.
to pay to speak, and that was
How much was
so.
it?
It was the one that really launched me was for a real estate group, and I had to pay, I think, $300 to register. I had to pay
Mm,
$49 for the speaker showcase, and the speaker showcase is me getting in front of a group of people who could hire me. I had to
okay.
pay transportation. I had to pay for the hotel. So I resisted it. It's like, you should be paying me to speak, but I had to invest in the money and pay. And I was speaking to people who could hire me, and that's how I got the national attention. But every group, every organization doesn't have that opportunity. So this is where your social media speaks for you. This is where, especially on LinkedIn, you have videos of you talking. And let's say you haven't had any engagements yet. That's when you go in your room with your ring light, your camera, and then you speak to the camera, and you
Yeah.
create videos and you create reels, or you go to you speak for free at different events, and you have proof. You have to have proof, and then you start marketing it to people. Go to groups that have conferences. I am spending time on social media looking for conferences. I'm reaching out saying, what is the process that you pick speakers? You know, I have
Yeah.
a Google alert set up that is a call for speakers. So any organization or event that needs speakers, I am there, and I'm sending them automatically. I've got a one sheet already, and I have my speaker reel, my demo reel ready to go. So
Yeah.
I'm constantly looking for people who need speakers. If I see an event, it's like, well, I want not only to attend the event, I want to speak there too. So I'm reaching out, hey, who hires your speakers? Keep in mind, some conferences, they don't pay. I go to one every year for the a large trade association, the one I mentioned, they don't pay. But I'm going to go wherever they are because it puts me in
Yeah.
front of people who could hire me.
I just want to say very, interject here. Like one of our foundational ethics around Innovate Her KC is that women and gender minorities deserve, well, everybody deserves to be paid for their labor. But you also have to weigh the benefits versus the costs. And I mean, sometimes there is an investment and there is a free event that it's worth my time because it puts me in, and I get almost all of my speaking engagements through word of mouth. Like I don't really
Yeah.
actively try to market myself. And so sometimes being in front of certain audiences makes sense because it puts me in front of the people who will hire me. And it allows me to build my reputation and build my skill sets. So, I have some causes that I will give free time to. So I want to caution folks, like, you don't want to give away the farm. You don't want to do everything for free always, but understand that there is a benefit that is not cost related, or I guess not like monetary cost. So just keep that in mind. So Tracey, and we're coming up on the end here. I'm going to ask you if was one thing that you would want every speaker to be, or every speaker who wants to get better at their craft, like if there was one thing that they should know, what is that one piece of advice?
I can't say record yourself enough. I can't say it. I just can't. And not only that, but watch other speakers. Watch recordings of other
Yeah.
speakers. I spend so much time on YouTube, and I'm looking at other speakers who speak about different topics, and I'm looking to see what they did right and
Yeah.
what they did wrong. And then I'm looking at my video, and I'm saying, this is what I need to do different and change. And that has worked wonders for me being able to be a better speaker and to know
Yeah.
what's out there.
Well, and so I'm gonna piggyback on that just a little bit. So I have a speaking muse, Harry S. Campbell. He is a Kansas Cityan, very like renowned speaker. And I remember the first time I ever saw him speak in public, like he electrified me because he's a very active, very physical, very energetic, very, and like I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people to enthusiasm and passion and excitement about the things that I'm talking about. And so like he's my muse. And so like when I'm looking at other speakers, like I take a lot from him, and I definitely take from others as well. But yeah, like understanding who you are, what you can do, and then recording it, refining, reiterating, practicing. I see you, Max. Hush.
I missed it. What did Max say?
Max just made a funny comment, but yeah, like I would highly recommend like finding those speakers that you like and trying to emulate them. You know. Yeah.
Right. And doing the work. You have to do the work and be willing to, like I said, write articles and contact publications. Hey, let me contribute an article on my expertise. Make yourself an expert. Send out a press release, go on the TV stations. If you can answer a question that's on the news, say, let me come on and speak about it, and write and speak for free. Do the work, build up your portfolio, and then market. You have to always be marketing. Always look for someone who you want to speak for. Always reaching out to find out the call for speaker process. Just you have to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, there are really no shortcuts. Well, so Tracey, clearly we need to do a try number 2 with this. Like we'll need to figure out how to do that, because I still have more questions, and I know our audience does as well. But I just want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today, to share of your expertise. Love that you're not a gatekeeper. I have always known you to be open and free and easy with the information, which I think is super cool. But thank you so much for sharing with us and spending some time with us today. Oh,
quick,
and I'm supposed to ask you, how do we contact you?
And I hate to say this, but someone says you can Google safety and security source, or Google Tracey the Safety Lady, or LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn or YouTube. I'm on all the social media, either under Tracey Hawkins, Tracey the Safety Lady. But Max made a point about not being able to travel. Virtual is not going away. When the pandemic hit, all of my public events went virtual. Most organizations are hiring virtually. It's cheaper, and you can do it from the comfort of your home, and you can be everywhere. So invest in the equipment, and virtual is a great way. I'm still doing virtual as well as in person. So no excuses.
It's been a great equalizer for a lot of people,
really
for sure.
It really has.
So yeah, have a focus on that virtual. Well, Tracey, thank you so much. Cynthia, you want to join us up here, my friend? The air up here is fabulous. Welcome back. We missed you.
Hello.
So I know we're 2 minutes over. That was my bad. My apologies. But it was just a really, really good conversation. Did you learn some new stuff, Cynthia?
I was taking notes over here.
Nice. Because I mean, the Joy Sherpa, like you're pretty fantastic. It should have just been all 3 of us talking. Like we all speak.
Then we would have gone 20 minutes over.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Tracey, thank you so much for taking the time. Cynthia, would you like to take us out? I don't have anything to share on the IHKC front because my life is not together enough to share it. So
well, that was my question.
You were like, hey, Lauren, you want to talk about IHKC upcoming events? And I'm
right.
Like,
nothing to talk about. Okay.
Can we not say that we did? And I'll like give my life. I was blind for 2 days. Anyway, that's a story for another time, though. Cynthia, would you do the honors, my love?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today in IHKC Live. Tracey, we appreciate everything that you brought to the table for round 1, and we can't wait for round 2 and however many rounds it takes until we can get as many innovators and people as possible feeling comfortable and confident in their speaking skills. And we know you did. If you found any sort of value from this video at all, make sure that you like it and share it with somebody else who needs the information, and make sure that you follow us on all things IHKC social.
You are so stinking good at that. Bye, y'all. Catch you next time.
Have a good one.
Be safe, everybody.